Hi and welcome back to my channel for another abstract watercolor art journal page. Today I want to play with this color palette. I have a color palette sketchbook where I record every color palette I like, and I find inspiration in a lot of books with nature photography and also in magazines about design, or online, of course, on Pinterest or Instagram. And whenever I have an idea of which color combination I really like, then I paint this into my color sketchbook. I did a similar video last week, and instead of painting squares, I decided to paint circles today. And the colors I've used so far here is, I don't know the name, it might be the Mint from White Nights from their pastel collection, but they are often so similar and then they are not common that I can't remember their names. And the yellow must be the Naples yellow. And the red I'm using is the Madder Red from Van Gogh. This journal spread is also a great exercise when you want to explore your watercolors. In case you have some new, for example, then you can see how they behave. Which color has more flow, that means which one runs into the other, and also if they are granulating, or which color value they have, that means if they are more a lighter or more a darker color. And this journal spread is also a really great idea if you have a creative blog and you don't really know what to create, then just paint some circles. And to finish this page up, I will add some texture and scribbles. I really like to do these kind of pages during my housework, for example, or while I'm cooking. I usually start with a page which take me about 10 minutes, and then it has to dry, and then later in the day, in between my work, I just come back to my painting and add some marks or stamp impressions. I think finally the whole page takes about 20 minutes, and that's not so much. And I think everybody can fit this into a busy day. The other colors I've used is, I believe, a burnt umber, and it's a Paynes gray in the middle, and the yellow on the bottom is the golden yellow from Rosa Gallery. I want to let the paint strip down the page, so I'm adding more color and more water. I'm really sorry that everything is getting so dark, but I have turned my book around, and so it stands up very high until my light. While the paints are still wet, I want to go in with the Derwent, Graphitint and Inktense pencils. I really love how they behave on wet paper, and I usually also dip the nib of them into water to get more pigment. I'm just adding some scribbles to my page, and I really like this exercise because it's very loose and free, and there is no pressure, and I usually write some encouraging words onto the spread just for me and just for fun, and it also gives a really interesting texture, I think. This pencil is a water-soluble graphite just without any color, but I will also use the Derwent pencils. I can't remember which Derwent pencils I'm using. I just grab colors that are similar to the ones I have already on my spread. If you like these abstract watercolor videos, I have some more on my channel and I will link them up in the end cards. Before I leave this page to dry, I will add some splatters. Usually I do this at the end of the process or a bit later in the process, and then I have to let this dry again. So this time I decided I would just add the splatters now, and then I have just one time where I have to let the page dry. I am back, my page is fully dry, and I wanna stamp some images and some texture. I don't want to have the wings of the bee standing out my circle, so I just cut a quick mask with a post-it note. I'm stamping the bee in black because I want it to pop off the page, and I also feel that the higher contrast is it matches the page. I decided to stamp the bee also to the top yellow circle. I often get asked which book this is I'm working in. This is a journal from Kunst und Papier. It's a German manufacturer, and I believe it has around 90 pages, which is pretty much for a watercolor journal. But what I have to say, I am also using one of them as a sketchbook, and I don't really like it as a sketchbook because you can only use one side of the pages, as they are buckling with water, and I don't like to draw on the left side of the book. It feels not as good as the right side, I would say. Unfortunately, I have my my focus not 100% on my page, I will recognize this soon and change it. Here I'm using the number stamp from the Mixed Media Marks stamp set. It's my favorite stamp, I believe. And here I'm using the ticket stamp from the same set with a, I believe, cherry pink color, and it doesn't show up very intense because of the red, but I really like the hidden texture. I want to add some more text underneath the circles, therefore I'm using a text stamp. I really can't tell you which stamp that it is. I believe it must be one from my beach stamp sets. I will search for it and then you will find it in the video description. This stamp I'm using now is from the Craft Collection stamp set, and I just add some turquoise marks. I'm back on focus now. Unfortunately, often when I pause my camera and then I restart it, it loses the focus. I have no idea why, and sometimes I forget to check again. Here I'm using another stamp from the Craft Collection. It's a leafy stamp and I'm using a dark orange ink to stamp it. I'm almost finished with stamping. I just want to add some stars from the pencil marks, and I will use black to bring back the really dark black lines that I have with the bees, so it looks more cohesive. Now this is the favorite part of the process because I'm adding the crayons. I'm using the Neocolors. You can also use oil pastels if you want to. They will be more opaque than the Neocolors. And I just add some scribbles and marks and color splotches. And that's one of my favorite parts because I'm really happy with the page, and that's just some fun play on the spread. As always, you will find my blog post linked up in the video description, and there I have some close-up images of the finished spread. And to finish it up, I'm adding some marks with the Posca paint pens. And that's my page for today. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you will see us next time. Have a wonderful rest of the week. Bye.